ladies and gentlemen, this is MML. This is the finals. This is the championship. This is what we've all been looking forward to all year. Unfortunately, before we started up, we got cut off on the broadcast, so we're starting it back up again. For your viewing pleasure, this is serious just by the way. I'm going to rewind the game to the very beginning, to the kickoff, and it's going to go through the fast plays to catch you up to where we're going. In the meantime, we've got our announcers from the European side, Louliz and Josiah Frost, who are going to be filling you in on the action. And my man ReznorRules is going to join me on the sidelines, and I'm going to be back in the booth with Rez in the second half. Fellas, take it away.
Okay, thanks, Jest. What we have seen so far, what the crowd missed, what you will walk them through with your very fast turns here. The first action of the game was actually done by the fans, knocking down the White Owlz catcher NTB with a stone, throwing a rock onto him. Then the White Owlz went over there to pick up the ball, hand it to the war dancer, who then again wanted to throw a pass to the thrower who was waiting right there, Almanost, who failed that catch actually. So because of this passing the ball back and forth in the White Owlz territory, they lost the ball onto the ground. So the Orcs got a chance to maneuver in there, and that's actually where we are right now. Interestingly, everybody's asking themselves, why would the Elves play around in the finals? I don't know. Maybe it's because their roster looks quite interesting today. Actually, they have two players, the War Dancer and their Star Catcher, who are shy 1 SPP of the next level up. So maybe that's what they were trying to do there.
Yeah. And actually, it's not worked out too badly for them, because the White Owlz have managed to get a KO in already with Morgoth, and actually still have their full team on the pitch. So, you know, whilst it might have been a bit of an error early on, they're not paying for it yet, and they're currently acting. So. You know.
To fill you in on something we talked about on the prior broadcast, which was apparently cut off. Before the games, there was some adjustments, last-minute adjustments to the rosters to trim the team value. The Wrecking Crew actually fired their trash talk expert,
I'm working
Dirty.
on these things, and while I'm watching this, I'm not playing. Was I live?
Their trash talker. They cut him from the roster to trim their team value from 1850 to 1800. In response to that, the White Owlz cut a reroll and still managed to get a wizard into the stadium. So on the
wow, this looks serious. Sorry, I shouldn't. Yeah, sorry, Lou. It's just Seaman knocking down the Blackheart, but yeah.
Okay, so after that a little bit failed first turn, the Elves are back on track. They're back on their feet. They have set up their offense. They're waiting for the Orcs to find a way through to get to the ball, put some pressure on them. And the Orcs are doing their business. They're doing what they can do best, and that is hitting. And they hit the lineman Lothmar, knocking him out, and he will be gone for this game. He's hurt and he won't return.
Yeah, I think the White Owlz are going to expect a few of those this game, to be honest, though. But it is. I say currently, as it currently stands, they're both teams have got 10 players on the pitch, so still all to play for. It's still very early days.
Yeah, it is. I think it's going to be an exciting game because, to me, this matchup of Wood Elves and Orcs, to me, is what Blood Bowl, this sport, is all about. It is good against evil. It is dodgy against bashy. It is agile against clumsy. You know, it's the traditional matchup. And that's why I'm really glad that those two teams made it in the final. Not that other teams wouldn't have deserved it, but those two teams played a great season, and they deserve to be here tonight.
Oh my goodness! Just noticed with that block that Watch just delivered to Thanmice, I've just noticed Thanmice has actually got an AV down. He's only got AV 6. So yeah, I didn't realise the White Owls were playing with less armoured, even less armoured, wearing more scraps of cloth than many Wood Elves would otherwise. Oh dear.
Yeah. And that is tough going against this the Wrecking Crew. The Wrecking Crew, of course, known a very, very experienced orc team. They got 4 tackle pieces there, 6 Mighty Blow, 4 guard. They are a team loaded with skills, loaded with brutality. Their kill rate actually is 11-1, so they killed 11 players in their career and only lost 1.
Wow. Yeah.
So I mean that's what we talk about when we see bashy teams, especially orcs, facing Wood Elves. One of our board members, Thunden, on the last podcast said the actual first 2-3 turns are game deciding. If you don't cut the numbers on the elves, then you don't stand a chance. I mean,
right.
Caven managed to get one guy off the field, a journeyman, so he won't be missed that much. But the elves are down 1 player so far. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, what you don't want to be seeing is that KO coming back in the next half, and a whole series of injured Wood Elves. But I've always said that Wood Elves, amongst the teams, are one of the teams that can actually cope the best with fewer players on the pitch. You know, which is why it is important, because if you've got a full contingent of Wood Elves and you're a bashy team, you've really got a problem. But even with only a few players, the Wood Elves can still be a real danger, to be honest.
I think in offense, the Wood Elves can do it with low numbers. You know, like a War Dancer and an experienced catcher, that can be a safe score. But defense is rather tough for trimmed Wood Elf roster. And actually, Caven is an expert playing Wood Elves. We saw it last week against the Leaf Dancers, against Pong, who's an absolute mastermind with Wood Elves, who does great positioning all the time. He knocked him out of the playoffs. Actually, his record against the Wood Elves, the crew's record, is 5 wins and only 1 loss. So he does fairly well against Wood Elves. The White Owls, on the other hand, tend to have a problem with orcs. Against orcs, their record is not that great. They got 4 wins, 1 draw, and 3 losses. And orcs are kind of their arch nemesis.
So what do you think's happening now?
I mean, the elves are clearly picked aside where to attack. They put 2 guys down the field, especially the catcher NTB there, to pose a scoring threat, having the thrower sit back in more of a high elf manner, like what we see from teams like Dignity. Not so much from the Wood Elves we've seen this season. And we're gonna see what's happening.
Growth on NTP, and it's
Growth is not. Growth is not in form yet.
NTB knows how to block, that's all I'm saying. He knows how to defend himself when he'll block. Oh dear. You wouldn't want to be White Tree right now. Do you think they're gonna... Do you think if this succeeds they're gonna lay up... Do you think if this succeeds they would actually think about putting a foul in? I don't think they will, but do you think that... Oh,
the only piece was the Black Orc, and the Black Orc you don't want to have sent off.
Yeah, exactly.
He's too important, too important for them.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm still fancying the Wood Elves' chances of scoring right now.
No.
Actually, quick rundown. Do you think they'll go for a quick score?
I don't know.
Like you're saying, they won't want to be in defence, will they? Let's be honest.
Yeah,
they probably won't. Yeah. So
you have that loner there who could catch the ball and go into the end zone with 1 extra movement, but do you want that? I don't know.
Oh, I was more imagining a handoff, and then NTB getting into the end zone. Do you see what I'm saying? And then one of these Wood Elves in the middle of the pitch, running down and throwing it. I mean, it would be possible, entirely possible for Wood Elves to do that, but I don't necessarily think they're going to actually do that. because they probably don't want to. They probably don't want to face the rest of this half in actual. Although I think what Stu will probably be planning to do at some point is use that wizard. I don't know, and maybe try and turn things around on the crew and get himself back into an offensive position.
Yeah. I actually was able to speak to Stu before the game, and he has deepest respect for all orc teams, also the crew. I talked about his record against him, and I asked him about what his turning point was for this season when he saw it would be a good season, and he actually told me his biggest challenge have always been and still are the Green Tide Titans, coached by Thundon. And that was a crucial point for him this season when he actually won against the Green Tide Titans.
He beat them in the playoffs, but actually lost. He actually lost to the Titans, if I recall, in actual season play, didn't he?
Yeah. But that was his moment of the season when he finally beat his arch nemesis.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's not so good. That's not so good.
We see the War Dancer stumbling. Yeah.
What I'm blitzing in against Gutrad. Oh no, it was Rotnail? Oh, sorry, yeah. Millenmore going against Rotnail, and actually this. Oh, that never happened. We've got a successful blitz in there.
No harm done. The orc armor holds up.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
And he throws a pass, and it lands in NTB's hands. So the War Dancer was just there to get one orc, Rotnail, off of him.
Oh my goodness.
That was an interesting turn. So the War Dancer blitzed in there to get one body off of NTB. The throw to NTB worked, even though he was in that orc's tackle zone. But the easiest thing in the world for Wood Elves, a simple dodge. Yeah. That one did not work this time.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
The journeyman.
Good lad coming in to make him pay.
Absolutely surprised. Managed to catch the ball, but still stunned with the surprise. He can't put anything against Gutrad's blitz there. Gutrad, who is actually half elf. He's half orc, half elf. Managed to blitz in there and knocked the ball out of his hands and him off the field. So, talking numbers, we got 2 elves out for this game now.
Yep. That's gonna hurt, but yeah, I wasn't. I half imagined, like I said, like I was talking about earlier, I half imagined a potential attempt at scoring, but I wasn't imagining it to go that way. But like we say, Stu knows this team. Stu's coached this team for a fair old time now, and it's really, really dangerous. I mean, he wouldn't be in the MML final if he didn't know what he was doing. But that was just really bad luck.
And that's something you can't really calculate with that this is gonna happen to your one of your star pieces. It's rolling ones, you know. That's what happens. Caven is actually he's always referred.
Those orcs going to work on that tree again.
Yeah, yeah. He's the piece that can really slow up that orc offense.
Yeah. What are you going to be thinking if you're Stu right now?
I mean, he still has the wizard, and as we said on offense, elves can always score. You know, with NTB, he has a potential one-turner there, and then like you score once with a one-turner, then you even throw a blitz, let the wizard throw a blitz at an orc, pick up the ball, score again, then you get 2 scores. I'm not sure if the crew can score that much. I mean, they score, but a lot less than the White Owls, of course. Throughout the course of their career, they scored 53 touchdowns in 39 games. The White Owls, on the other hand, scored 57 in 31. Of course, they're a Wood Elf team, naturally score more, you'd say. But the crew, I've seen them play a couple of times, are a fan of slow-moving cages. They set up their cage, slowly move down the field, take out piece by piece from the defensive lineup, and then hopefully score last turn in that responsive half.
There's just a comment in the Discord chat. Tiger Shark asking if the broadcast's down again. I'm hoping it's not. Are we still broadcasting? Can anyone confirm that?
Yeah, looks like we're still broadcasting.
Okay, that's fine then. That's perfect. Cool.
Yeah, it's just that the interference you heard before is it's a special night in the stadium for two reasons. We'll get to what the other title of the night is. Yeah, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the Godfather and the Mark Zuckerberg of the MML is in the audience. Preach. What's up, Preach? I wonder. And Tiger Shark, by the way, the real biological father and creator of the MML. Preach is gonna kill me. But it is, as what you heard before, unfortunately, it's Beyonce aggro night in the stadium. So everybody, go on and get yelled at by your significant other.
It's a score! It's a score!
Throw him on!
Sonyard, the White Owl's superstar. He managed to still turn this situation around for the White Owls. The Orcs with their star blitzer Gutrat managed to knock the Elves down in their attempt to scoring first, but Sonyard, league star catcher, league star scorer.
Yeah.
Sonyard
is the WFC leading receiver, or WFC leading receiver, the Wicked Forest Conference. He was one behind Al, the best Sharpton for Nuffle's Holy Rollers, who won the receiving title this year. But Sonyard is the leading scorer with 11 touchdowns, and he tied the MML record with that in the regular season.
Oops. Looks like we might have lost Lou.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, sorry,
he's back.
This is a night of technical difficulties. I just got kicked out.
Okay, you're back. You're back. Welcome back.
Okay.
I'm going to go mute before I get yelled at again.
So here we are setting up again. I think, I don't know, that must have been a tough call. I'll be honest with you, when we started this match, I wasn't expecting an early score from the White Owls, but that just shows they're willing to take it on and they're making a good show for everyone. So I'm guessing they're feeling confident they can hold off these Orcs for another half, for another quarter. I think that's what you call it. You'll have to forgive my European. I struggle sometimes with the American terms, but I believe you'd call it a quarter, right?
I'm totally fine with it. We get along quite well. Yeah, so the Elves are still setting up their defense. They're taking their time here before they leave the field to the Orcs. I talked to Caven also before the match, and he actually said, having played Pong last week, he thinks the tree can actually be a problem for his offense and also for his defense, because he can tie up multiple Orcs, so turn the numbers game a little bit towards the Elves. So I think he might try to get that tree out.
We've already seen that tree trying to that tree at one point was in the last in the last few turns was actually tying up 4 Orcs, and let's be honest, and he does have that capability because he is faster than your average tree, isn't he?
Yeah.
Quick snap. No. And the Orcs get a quick snap.
Oh, I have technical difficulties again. My Cabal isn't showing anything.
Oh. Wow.
This is crazy tonight. So I have to watch on Twitch.
That's fine. The Orcs have got a quick snap and taking advantage of it now. Perhaps not surprising. Oh, and they're pulling. I'm amazed that they're pulling away from the scrimmage line, but probably because they want to utilize as much time as they possibly can, I guess. They are kind of boxing the Elves in, so I can understand that. I think with Rotnail's the right position to catch the ball, and he does. So I think I think the Orcs can be a serious scoring threat anyway.
Yeah, and I know we know Caven, and he's before this match he was pumped up with confidence. He's been there before. He's won it before. He made it to the semis the last season. So he's an experienced playoff coach. He played a couple of games, and that was actually interesting in the post-game press meeting I had with both coaches. Caven said it's great to be in the finals, of course.
Yeah.
It's an honor.
Oh my goodness! And Thanmice takes another hit. I'm not expect. I'll put a bet on it. I don't expect Thanmice to see this game out. At least not on the pitch, anyway. So, and Gorfang laying it on soft. Is that soft? That's a good name for. It's good name for Wood Elf lineman. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So. I don't know, I think sometimes I struggle to see looking at it you don't necessarily think there's an awful lot those Wood Elves, but I know Stu's gonna have something up his sleeve to deal with this. Yeah, I wouldn't like to be so currently.
Yeah, and Stu actually told me before the game that he watched a lot of the Cruise games. He prepared well to really know what he's up against. He said he's actually quite nervous. He said it's like before his very first pro match he ever played. He's really nervous here.
Oh my goodness.
But he studied what the crew is doing, and that's what you can see here right here. They don't hesitate. They pile on. They foul. They put their mighty blow pieces there. They want to do as much damage as possible.
Do you think he was targeting NTB there?
He's of course targeting NTB.
Yeah. I think it's quite clear he is trying to pick off the right players. He wants to clear the numbers, attacking Thanmice, and then he's now just really with a pylon and everything on NTB.
Let's see what the remaining Elven players can do. There's 9 of them left. I mean, Rodnail is sitting rather comfortably back down the field. There's nobody who can reach him right now. So I guess he's not worried there.
I think the White Owls will just be quite happy that the ball's in the other end of the pitch. Do you think?
Yeah.
As long as they can keep it there and remove any kind of potential scoring threats, I think they'll be probably quite happy with that.
Exactly, and we're only talking 3 turns here that are left.
Yeah.
As the elves set up their defense, maybe we can give out to one of our sideline reporters to capture the atmosphere in the stadium a bit. It's Jest said it's a special night tonight. Maybe our sideline reporter Rez can say something about it. What type of special night is it?
Well, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the Orc Blitzer here after the score, Morgoth, he went to get up from the KO bin and was immediately he took a look around the crowd and said, "No, I need to sit here and take this in a little bit. It is officially bring your iPet to the stadium with you night." They're glorious iPets. I mean, I've seen goblins with iPets bigger than them on their shoulders. Sometimes you can't tell whether the iPet is walking them or the gobbo. It's a little hard to tell, but. Yeah, just various shapes and sizes of these iPets. Serious Jest has been over on the other sideline for the Wood Elves. I'm kind of scared to know what kind of smells are coming from over that end.
Oh. The apocalypse is truly upon us with these iPads.
This is Serious Jest on the other sideline here. My nose kind of went numb at the beginning of the match because of the overwhelming stench of the body odor over here for the elves. But I got to tell you, being surrounded by all this furry goodness is amazing. These little creatures just crawling on everybody's shoulder. Sometimes you feel a little brush against your leg. You look down, it's a cute little iPad tugging on your leg hairs. These things are adorable.
I can even see the commissioner up at his booth with his iPad, and the white tree, apparently appreciates the iPad love because he is just taking it out on these orcs. I mean,
guys, I think we might be looking into another scandal here. I think after the usage of illegal steroids that was brought up, amongst the league. We might see another illegal inducement here. The White Owls did not only bring a wizard to the stadium, they also called for iPad night here at the White Forest, the Elven Stadium. I don't think this is legal, and I think the organization of orcs, the OOO, led by Thunden, might lead an investigation to ban iPads from the stadium once and for all.
You know, Lou, the funny thing is that the Owls stocked the stadium with iPads to distract orcs, knowing that Coach Thunden has irrational phobia to such a cute animal.
That's what
but Coach Caven actually has embraced the iPads, and if you look over at the sideline, he's got his iPad is perched on his shoulder with an eye patch. And a pirate
hat. The orcs are confused at this point. You know, the one tribe movement is very strong usually, and Coach Thunden and Preach, in particular Thunden, are quite anti-iPad. We've seen several unsuccessful blitzes from the crew here, some failed piling ons. I think the orcs are just really out of sorts seeing their coach over there with an iPad perched on his shoulder.
Well, I think there's a movement. It gets not.
He's proving you wrong.
I said Thanos was going down.
There is a movement in the orc culture where they've come to, at first they were fighting against iPets. They wanted to ban iPet marriage and all that stuff, but now I think they're coming around. People are opening their eyes. The commissioner has declared that the grunts actually embrace the iPet culture.
That's a serious endorsement right there. I mean, iPet has been making an unofficial move to be the official MML mascot, so maybe we can make this a bit more of a public push.
After tonight, Rez, I think that there's a strong argument.
I sincerely hope not. I think it's absolutely disgusting. I fully endorse the idea of the OOO looking into this disgusting matter, and I think, I mean, normally I have a lot of time for the White Owls, but I think White Tree should be probably set off. I suspect he's probably going to be smuggling iPets onto the pitch, even if speaking amongst his bowels.
I think there's a couple of them up there in his branches. In the meantime,
it's
the White Owls might be going for the ball here.
Let's go back to the action because it gets excited. We're in the last two turns of this half.
We've got the orcs running down the pitch.
The orcs have their thrower Rottennail sandwiched by a lineman and a black orc. We'll see if that's enough protection for him because the Owls are moving their players down the field in a very, very bold attempt to potentially go for the ball and another score this half. We assumed that the Owls would sit back, let the orcs come, let the slow orc offense roll, and just try to sit this out for the rest of the half. Maybe we're seeing a change of strategy here.
Smell your breath and see the dead insects.
Very much so. Like I say, I think, I mean, at some point the orcs are probably going to try and throw the ball or something at least, aren't they, to try and do it? But I don't know. And there's a good
It's
tackle.
not dodging day for NTB. That's the second dodge he fails, and this time he will be out for this turn. So for the rest of the half, so NTB can actually be carried off the field and enjoy his halftime moss drinks. And soft armor is just too soft. The black orc who was guarding the thrower broke his arm and said, "You are not gonna play anymore tonight or in the next game. You are out, my friend."
Yeah.
And the orcs continue.
I think this is what Stu was worried about, and that injury was delivered by Morglum Gougethroat, maybe? Gougethroat, yeah.
But actually, what we're looking here now is an interesting situation. We're looking at turn 7 here for the orcs. Rotnail is freed up now, and he could potentially attempt a pass to Takru, who's waiting downfield to receive the ball. Takru actually is the guy Stu told me he was most afraid of. He looked at Takru and he's like, "That's a beast of an orc. I don't want him anywhere near me." And that's what happens. Now he's opened out in the field because he removed all the players from him. Now Takru is waiting there to score either this turn or next turn to close out the half.
And to be honest, even if he lays in a throw, later on, even if he lays in a throw, as long as, Rottnail's an experienced thrower. If he lays in the throw, even if Taku wasn't able to catch it, it's still going to be on one of the Oxes wasn't able to catch it. The ball's still going to be moving in the right direction, right?
Yeah. Okay. He does manage to knock down the War Dancer, and that might be crucial here, because the War Dancer, of course, we know, can always be a threat for any ball carrier. So depending on what he's going to do with Takru now, how this throw is going to work, the White Owls still, due to Mulmar being able to just step aside and get a field closer to the ball carrier,
and he just
might be able to come in there.
And Taku doesn't catch it? Oh, yeah, he does.
Takru catch it in the second attempt. He was out. He knows that he's a bashy player. He can do damage.
Taku
he
is technically within scoring range. Is he going to go for it?
No.
He's not going to go for it. Discretion and valor, yeah.
Yeah, that there it paid out that Takru was catching balls all week. He didn't do anything. He knows he's strong enough. He's brutal, but he knew it was coming up. There was his great moment to potentially score, to catch a ball, and that's what he just did. But if he's not going for it, as we said, our War Dancer still has a shot of preventing this touchdown from happening. This might be actually a game-deciding moment here, because either the Elves will be up 1-0 at half, or the score will be equalized. With the Elves 1-0 up 1-0, a wizard in hand, the numbers advantage might not be that important. I can't wait to see this blitz from happening. I'm honest. This is. No. I wish I could just skip the next actions.
It is so exciting. You just don't know what's going to happen. It's knife edge, and both coaches are delivering an amazing final, and yeah, you can't deny there is action happening all the time.
And it is what we expected. It is the Orcs trying to get the numbers advantage, the Elves constantly posing scoring or blitzing threats. It's exactly what we were expecting and all hoping for.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, we're taking the time to think it through.
Yeah, down here on the sidelines, on the Wood Elf sidelines here, we got a mixed crowd weighing in, guys. Some people are saying fireball, lightning bolt. Other people are saying don't do it.
Here it comes. Here comes the blitz. Here comes the blitz. Oh!
It is successful because actually Mulmar knows how to strip a ball out of an Orc's hand, and Takru's hands are not so sure. But this is a good question now. If you're Stu, you still got that chance. You hear the fans chanting lightning bolt, lightning bolt. Do you want to take the risk of Takru being able to score here? Do you want to keep your wizard for the second half? What are you going to do now?
And you got the other half of the Wood Elf fans over here chanting "Save it." So I don't know, man. They're pretty split up over here.
That's such a tough decision. I wouldn't know what to do there.
Oh my goodness, he's going to pick it up. No, he's not.
I'm glad I'm in the announcer's booth here and not out on the field coaching.
Oh, I am too. There's no iPets in this announcer's booth.
Not yet, but in the second half.
Not yet.
And Jofro, you have to take the sidelines for the second half, so I don't think there's going to be any avoiding it.
He's gonna fall asleep cuddling with his iPads.
You should have seen the look of horror on Jofro's face when we pointed out that the stadium was full of iPads.
Okay, so Stu decided to keep the wizard for the second half. He managed everything to mark up his arch nemesis Takru there. He gave him nightmares all week, and we see if those nightmares become reality now or not. The War Dancer and the thrower, so two of his key pieces, are throwing their bodies into the way of Takru to go for the ball. The Orcs are marching in. The Orcs are putting more pressure on the Elves. Will Takru blitz away the War Dancer? No, he won't.
No.
He won't. And there's the Orcs used up all their extra training they put up in this week. They're exhausted. It was a long half. It was a tough half. They don't have extra training left. So this is what they have to stick with. And Stu was right not to let the wizard do his evil work. It worked this way, and congratulations to Stu on this half already. He managed to hold the crew's offense back. He managed to take the lead into halftime, and he managed to still hold on to his wizard. There was a great half by the underdog, because a lot of people said the White Owls don't stand a chance against this killing machine wrecking crew, but apparently they do, and I'm crazy excited to go down to the sidelines for the second half and watch the game from close up.
I'm stopping here.
Joe Fro, take a trip down to this Wood Elf sideline. It's very nice over here. Just bring a nose plug. Everything will be all right. By the way, on that last play, you saw when the Black Orc punched the tree, a couple of ipex shook free out of the branches and fell onto the Orc's shoulders. The Orc, of course, actually giggled a little bit as they tickled his green chin, and that's how we ended the half. The rest of the Orcs kind of calmed down. And that's kind of the soothing effect that these iPets have on the crowd out here. At the halftime, those of you who weren't able to catch the halftime show, and this is why you really have to show up to the stadium for these games and see them live. There's nothing like seeing these halftime shows and the crowds reacting. They actually brought out a whole parade of iPets across the middle of the pitch. They brought out the National iPet Marching Band, and they were all playing the cutest instruments. One had a piccolo, another one had a violin.
Now, don't forget the flying iPet circus as well.
Oh, that was awesome. The trapeze artists were just amazing.
And the natural agility that they're gifted with is just incredible.
I wish I could do some of those things little creatures do.
I've always had so much respect for you guys, but now I just don't have any more.
Just have an iPet, Joe Fro, and chill out. Just have an iPet, chill.
Okay, guys, now handing over the microphones for you guys to sit in the announcer's booth now. What did you think of the second half? Were you as surprised as we were that the Owls managed to hold on to their lead?
The first thing I noticed is there's a very grumpy wizard over on the sideline who really thought that he shouldn't have to be here for the second half. He had plans to go spend this big wad of cash that Coach Stu handed him, and now he's got to sit here for the second half. He's pretty upset.
Instead he's over there playing cards with a couple of iPads, waiting for his time to do his job.
Be careful playing against his iPads. They'll cheat. I mean, iPads are not necessarily moral creatures.
These iPads will come up with 5 aces somehow.
If the wizard fails in second half, it's all on iPads, right?
You never know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there. The iPads are magical creatures, though, so they actually could enhance his power. I think the key here for each team is to try to win the favor of the iPads over. The better you do in the game, and the more the iPads want you to win, the more likely you are to win. Everybody knows this.
Oh, okay, guys. I'm gonna leave the booth now. I'm gonna be out by the Orc sideline.
Lou, if you could actually do me a favor, can you stick around in the booth for a little bit, because it is still fiance aggro night over here, and I am gonna be called into the stadium underground for a little bit in about 3 minutes or something. So if you could just hold on and keep announcing in the booth for me, I'd appreciate it. But I would like to say, masterful coaching.
Oh,
go ahead.
I'm going to take my bottle of brandy and my cigar and go down. I don't want to. Please don't send me, please.
The drunker you get, the cuter and less threatening they look.
Here comes Tacker after. And he's not even going to follow up there.
They are targeting.
That's surprising, actually, that Takeru decides not to follow up, not to pile on to Sonyard, because that's the biggest scoring threat the Owls still have. There was his chance to take him out, and he decided against it. Why do you think that is, Rez?
I mean, this is a very interesting game so far. The really crazy thing is that, yes, 3 elves are injured, but they're all, 2 are loners, 1's just a lineman. There's been hits on the catchers, and they're still in the game. This could very easily have been a repeat of the game with the Leaf Dancers last week, where 3/4 of the team was gone for the second half. But the White Owls are faring much better so far today. So I really think it's a little extra training, a little extra dirt packed under the skirt today. So.
And to add to that, let's not forget, Morgoth sitting on the sideline still knocked the hell out. And this is their stripper strip baller. I don't even know if that sounds better. Tackler, guard, and mighty blower. That definitely doesn't sound better. And blocker. So Morgoth has a lot to offer and he's just sitting on the sideline there, helpless, dreaming, and iPets are tickling him while he sleeps.
I think that's why he didn't get up either, you know? He seems quite content with that.
Once the little, you know, when they do that thing where they dig their little claws into you and they knead their little spot and then settle in? Who wants to get up after that?
But,
but
what was really
you're
interesting
right.
here for the setup too is if you look, they put NTB up on the line of scrimmage.
That's incredibly interesting. I think that's what I was saying earlier. They always want to pose a scoring threat there because, of course, Stu knows if the Elves score again, it will be really tough for him to still win this one. Especially, as you just said, all the important pieces are still on the pitch for the Elves. He's still got his one War Dancer. We can't forget this is an Elf team playing with only one War Dancer. He still gets his star catcher, both of them actually. He's still got his thrower and the blodging tackle lineman there. All the important pieces are still there.
All right, guys, I'm heading into the tunnel for a little bit. I'll be back in a bit, all right? I'm going to take some calendar pictures for the iPad calendar.
I wonder how long he stays away this time. Maybe 5 seconds.
But,
okay.
So you see, there's a lot of, I mean, you've got Milnor there within the range attack group, but to get an assist, you've got to go for it. Really, a lot of Coach Caven's plan involves dangling bait, trying to get a coach to take something that looks really good and ends up opening something else up. It feels like Coach Stu is kind of trying to do the same thing. He's kind of saying, here you go, you can have the hit on the War Dancer, but you got to roll some dice to get there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a really good strategy because I think, having talked to Stu earlier, that he studied Caven really well there, and that's what Caven does. He sets up a cage or a slow-moving offense, and then looks at pieces he likes to take out of the defense. You know, he tries to isolate guys and then surgically take them out. We all know he's a master in positioning. He's a master in also setting up those traps. But I think Stu tries to beat him with his own weapons here.
Well, that's it, and you see, I mean, you've got Tackers standing right in front of a Blodger and a War Dancer, and he's actually going after the AV6 player. I'm sure the AV6 probably influenced his decision a little bit, but again, it would be putting him in a bad position if he doesn't get him down. It's basically trying to bait each other and seeing which trap Nuffle likes best.
Yeah. And I mean, this one was a rather safe one for him because he can still move up that cage, and the cage is rather solid. Knowing that the White Owls don't have any guard pieces on their team, knowing that they're down in numbers a bit, I think it will be really, really tough for the Elves to crack a solid orc cage here.
Well, that's you know, they could have used the wizard early on. But this is what they needed it for. This is the only way that they're going to break into that cage. There's too much guard to just try to throw a War Dancer in there. You throw the War Dancer in there, and that's how he gets killed.
Yeah, and that's a problem playing against Wood Elves with a wizard. Either you set up a very loose cage, allowing the War Dancer to be able to leap in there and throw a one-die blitz, or you set up a tight cage with a possibility for a wizard the entire time. And I think this is the mixture cage you see here right now. You see the thrower Rotnail guarded by those two black orcs, and all the blitzers and linemen out of the wizard's range, out of the fireball's range.
So you still got NTB hanging around in scoring position, just waiting for an orc to fail something so he can try to scoop the ball up. But I think the most amazing thing so far is that Thanmice, the AV6 block lineman, is still on the pitch.
Yeah.
He got KO'd for a little bit, but he is still on the pitch.
Yeah, maybe Joe Fro's prediction won't come into place here.
Well, and a man who doesn't love iPad, can you really trust his predictions anyway? That's the question that begs to be asked. So it looks like the Elves, they're actually just going to take this one-die blitz right here because they've got Gutrad sitting there in the front of the formation. No real good blitz attempt
but
available.
that's a problem you have now. I mean, us both being Wood Elf coaches, right?
Yeah.
Or at least you used to be one.
I'm back. I'm back.
You're back? Oh, that's so nice.
I'm actually the only Wood Elf team in the West now, and you guys have 3 in one play pool. How'd you manage to pull that off?
Well, there's no investigation, so I think there's still disclosure
Just wait till
on
my
that.
team gets battered, then I'll fall for an investigation.
But we see it here. The Wood Elves are down in personnel. Setting up the defensive elven columns there. He only manages to pull up 2 full columns. I mean,
Wow, some great dodge in there from Thammice to get free. But yeah, this is the problem that you run into with developed elf teams with developed Skaven. There's no good player to sit in the front anymore. All of the tackling dummy players are injured. They're gone.
Exactly.
So all you have left is important players who can now get piled on by Tackroot.
exactly, and that's the thing. Like, that's what you see went kind of well for Stu. He sacrificed his journeyman. He kept his team value low, coming in there with a lot of journeymen. He sacrificed those at the beginning of the match to still have all of his important pieces at this point of the game.
And I imagine we're probably going to see the Wizard at some point here. It depends. I know I've talked with Coach Stu a little bit. And again, another unsuccessful blitz. This has been a huge story in the game.
Exactly.
This could easily be three Wood Elves shorter at the minimum, and Tackroot's just not been able to come through. But
and especially the blitzes.
And with this loose cage here, what you may actually see is a lightning bolt and an attempted leap to scoop the ball or something rather than a fireball.
All depending on the scatter, you know, if it goes to the top right corner, then there's still three orc bodies on that ball. So that wizard is also risky, you know.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, even great War Dancer has trouble picking up a ball in 3 orcs.
What we really end up seeing is slick and dirty, and I greatly appreciate Coach Stu's naming convention for the catcher there. I can certainly get on board with that. The AG5 catcher is probably the guy. There's no tackle on the right side of the, if you're looking from the White Owl side, on the right side for, oh, here comes the fireball.
Fireball! There's 4 orcs, 2 of them go down, and the third one, the Blitzer Takru, who's also strong, is not so strong anymore because his friends went down and he lost all his support there.
Yeah,
and there are 2 elves. And our potential MVP, Sandmites, could really take it out on Takru now.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the developed Black Orc who's down. He only has 3 movements, so he can't move when he gets up other than to go for it. And the other one is Gutrat. Yeah, and that's a huge... You know, when Coach Caven puts Gutrat on a side of a cage, he expects that side to stay where it is.
Exactly. That's an interesting choice for the fireball to do it right there. I mean, he got 4 very important pieces, and 4 very important pieces. The very developed Black Orc, Takru, our brutal guy, Gutrat, and the ball carrier Rotnail. I think that was a good choice for the fireball, actually.
Oh, and I think here comes Milnor now. This is going to be the best chance they've got.
Yeah.
Makes the leap.
And it makes sense, because you know where he can push him, worst case?
Oh.
But it is not a push.
But he gets them both down, and that's going to...
No. That's not going to do anything.
He rolls it, and there's the push.
Okay. That's okay. That's good enough for him. He has the strip ball.
Nah, the Rotnail has sure hands.
Crap.
So this actually won't do much for them, and now it's going to be a life choice decision. And Milnor says, "This is the finals. I'm either going to die a hero, or this is it." So
at this moment of the game, if you're a Wood Elf coach, you hate your tree for taking root there.
Yep.
This is exactly huge. When you need him to just do one little step, just one square. That's enough.
Here's Thammice trying to get the block on Takru. He's not going to be able to get him down, so he's going to hold him in position and try to keep him away from Milnor. And the thing is, you've got Gutrat just sitting right there. waiting to come and hit Milner with the tackle. He's the last tackle piece tied up. And there it is. There's the diving tackle. Sornir gets over there on Rotnail.
This is what you do at the finals. You see Stu through his two best pieces, his War Dancer and Synard, right into the heat of the action, right next to Gutred. He wants to win it, for sure.
This is that moment. This is the moment in the game for a Wood Elf coach. You try to be conservative, you try to be smart, and at some point it comes down to this, flinging some players at the ball carrier and seeing what happens.
Exactly. I actually talked to Stu, as I said a couple of times now, and his strategy before, I asked him if he wanted to buy maybe add another War Dancer to the final, to the roster, because he had 180,000 in gold.
That is not an option for the White Owls.
No, it's not. He actually wants to buy another one later on, and wants to save the money for it, but spending 30,000 of his extra cash, I don't know which transfer target he had in mind. We'll see how that pays out for him.
He was very interested in how the winning system works for post game, and how much money he can potentially get if he were to roll a 1.
But I think he's going for the best strategy in this regard and trying to win it, because if he's winning it, he gets the money he needs for sure.
Absolutely.
And that's how it should be.
Some monstrosity of a War Dancer, I'm sure he's looking at bringing up. Oh,
do you know anything
look
about
at
that?
this!
Whoa!
The Black Orc, both downs on all 4 dice.
This is insane. This is insane.
Sornir KO's Varag Eat Liver.
A Black Orc, and we all know what this is gonna lead to. The War Dancer is raiding there right next to Rotnail.
The league-leading scorer turns around and KOs a Black Orc in the finals.
And this is the worst position for Caven to have his throw Rotnail.
Unbelievable. Gutred still laying on the ground.
Even if with those 2 die, the War Dancer just manages to push him. Look who's waiting. Oh,
double skulls for
this
Milner.
is crazy. This is crazy.
But now Rotnail's going down. They'll knock him over towards White Tree.
Next to the tree,
there goes
next
the ball.
to Sornir.
And we've got a potential relay between Sornir and NTB that can seal this game.
Oh, wow, this is crazy. That Black Orc should be fired right away.
Pick up by Sornir. All he has to do is hand it off to NTB, who has the ball, who's going to take off towards the end zone. I don't think he's going to score.
He's not going to score. He's not going to score.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Coach Stu says that's enough hits for my players. I don't feel like seeing what Takru and these pissed off orcs are going to do to my team. We're taking the touchdown, boys. We're going to the championship.
And none of the RKO kid was.
That's going down here! Run, Jopo, run! The orcs are stunned. None of them stand. The iPets have overrun the stadium for the Wood Elves. It's just stink and glory everywhere.
The orc KO box is filled with iPads. The orcs can't make their way out of it. They all roll once on their waking up attempts. They're covered in iPads.
Oh wow, I was in the middle of taking some calendar pictures, dressed up in a toga with iPads surrounding me, and all of a sudden a bunch of the iPads erupted in frenzy and ran up back up topside.
I'm amazed that you were able to get back through the tunnel. The stadium is just run amok right now.
What happened? How was the score 2-0?
Watch the replay.
That would be a Mr. Varag Eat Liver. Tried to hit Sornir. Rolled both downs on both, re-rolled it, rolled both downs again, and got KO'd by the league's leading scorer, who then handed it off to NTB for a 2-0 lead.
He doesn't just catch touchdowns, he also knocks orcs the hell out, huh? Jeez.
This is great. I mean, there's nothing you can do if you're Coach Caven. There was no wrong move there. You can't plan for 4 skulls in a row with a Black Orc.
That's crazy. That poor Black Orc needs to train in the fine art of blocking a little better.
Well, and that's one of the few weaknesses for the crew. They've had some, I think it's been some attrition probably, but they've actually got, I think, only one really developed Black Orc. One has blocked a Mighty Blow, but yeah, Oh, and now, when things go bad, they get worse. The White Owls now get the blitz. It'll be interesting, though, to see how aggressive they get, because up 2-0, Orcs are going to have a really hard time trying to make this happen.
Here comes Jest's regular blitz comment, and here you go. Jest, what do you always say about a blitz?
Nuffle says no. Is that what it is?
No.
Oh, when
a
it
blitz
rains,
can
it
be a
pours?
Trojan horse. No,
Oh,
a
yeah,
blitz
the
can
Trojan
be a
horse
Trojan
blitz.
horse.
It can be. It is. It can be a Trojan horse. Right now, Nuffle is handing the White Owls an opportunity to get in that backfield, or what looks like an opportunity. But with only 5 guys sitting back not engaged, this could turn out to... It could go pretty badly for them if they rush their guys in there, and they're pretty far out. So I don't expect a veteran like Stu to rush his people in. But then again, the White Owls are some savage maniacs, and when they see the ball, they can't help but try to grope it.
And Bernie Buffett is in the chat, and he's saying, you know, not even the mighty Wrecking Crew can score against the best defense in the MML.
Absolutely. This is a tenacious defense. Absolutely. Not something you usually say about Wood Elves, but the White Owls definitely sport a defense you should be afraid of.
And that is against Coach Caven, who's an expert playing all types of elves. He had his most important win of the season against the Witches Coven in the first round of the playoffs. He won against Tong, who's a defense master, and now he's trying to crack open. This also very, very unusual elf defense, putting a star catcher like NTB at the line.
And he's been doing that consistently all game. It's just this decision that you know what, NTB is a tough guy and he can take it. And well, they've been right up until now. But even a knockout is better than an injury. I suspect we might even see him back in the game again.
So you think the crew's gonna score here?
I think Caven will score. Yeah, I don't know if he can. No, I doubt he can tie it up. But I think Caven will score.
Just his blitzes again.
Failed blitz,
and Takru is not
Takru.
having a great day. Yeah, I think he failed 5 blitzes so far.
It's been really just a tale of the Orcs. Not, I think 9 plays out of 10. This is a very different looking game. It's a much grittier game at this point. But Takru has been very sloppy. We saw the Black Orc get knocked out by Sornard. And Preach is pointing out in the chat, you know, Coach Caven is one of only 2 coaches, the other one being Seston with Dignity and with the Cold Hard Truth, who did win in Season 2. Coach Caven's one of only 2 coaches to make the finals twice.
And even more than that, this team, the Wrecking Crew, is the only team to make the finals twice.
This is the only team. And not to mention they made the semifinals last season.
Exactly, we said that in the broadcast that got interrupted by some interference on Jest's fiance side there.
No, that wasn't her. That was the ominous blue screen.
But yeah, and I mean it's unfortunate that it comes down to the bad dice. But I always say, you know, we get upset about kickoff events and when ridiculous things happen. If it wasn't dice based, every game would be a tie and it would just be boring. You would never kill any of my elves, and and I would never be able to stop you from scoring. So it's unfortunate that it turns like that. But yeah, the Black Orc just completely unhinged the Wrecking Crew's title hopes there.
And not only that, I think the key is actually Takru, and of course blitzes are not regular blocks you just throw in because you get an easy 2-die. Blitzes are surgical strikes. Blitzes you expect to succeed, especially with a brutal tackle piece like Takru, and this completely failed this entire game.
Yeah,
so it's not
played
actually
Takru twice. I know he is typically a fearsome player, and he just was not able to bring it with him tonight.
And that's what I'm saying, like, it's not always the very obvious ones that decide a game, like a double one or double skulls. It's things like that, like surgical strikes that just don't work out. You know, you set it up, you set the perfect blitz up, and then it doesn't work. Of course, it's not as spectacular because the guy's not going down.
Right. But no, it was consistent throughout the game. The Takru just was not able to get the injuries. The fact that there's still so many elves on the pitch is testament to that. And now, here on turn 13, the crew's down 2-0, and Takru's getting smacked around by a War Dancer, and it's just, that's not the way that things were drawn up on the board, and not the way they usually work out either.
Yeah.
And it's not even that the Wood Elves have nobody off the pitch, because they have 3 injuries and a knockout, so they got 4 off the pitch, but they've been able to mete out this pretty much the same amount of damage on the Orcs. There's 3 Orcs just sitting there chilling on the sidelines with iPets doing all kinds of random things to them. One is tickling one, the other one's getting peed on. Oh Lord, iPet, stop that. That's Rugnad getting peed on over there. These orcs will sleep through anything.
Just be honest, these orcs were not prepared for the iPest infestation over in the KO box.
A brilliant move by the White Owls to make it bring your iPet to the stadium day. Totally threw everything into chaos, and it's really hard to coach when you've got all this going on. Even when you embrace it, as Caven does, his iPet that's been sitting on his shoulder with the eye patch is now angrily barking at the team, and he's pulled out a lash, and he's whipping some of the orcs on the sideline who are asleep, trying to get them up, and they're just not responding.
Wait a minute, I think we just had a misclick from Coach Caven. I think the iPet was chirping a little too loudly, and Takru misunderstood the signals coming from the sideline. He tried to pull
you know what it was?
there.
It was all those iPads in the tree's branches. Those iPads in the tree's branches made him miss our secret MVP, Thanmice, our AV down regular block lineman who was hiding behind the tree and covered by those iPads.
Wow.
Coach Caven couldn't see him, also due to iPad. So iPads are actually the deciding factor in this game, as we all expected. Maybe
as
we
they
can
are in life.
Maybe we can hear Coach Jofro if he's still there with the iPads. What the iPad situation is there?
Well, they had to retreat a
It's absolutely disgusting, Lou. I've discovered one thing: they don't like cigar smoke in the face and brandy in the eyes. That's what they don't like. That's what Caven should have been doing all along.
This is Jofro down there, like with a rapier, fencing iPads away. Just back, vile demons, back!
All I need is my trusty brandy bottle and my big fat cigar. Oh my God! There's a lot of casualties down here, and the iPads are crawling all over them. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. The OOO should definitely look into this, boys.
On a side note, what we haven't mentioned, when we looked at the little throws Stu was doing when he was still in safety at the beginning of the first half, it worked out. Those two players who were shy 1 SPP of the level up, both actually managed to level, so he is also
I've got to
working.
be honest, I think that the White House should be disqualified from this game. I'm very, very furious that a team can win the championship while farming SPP with their War Dancer.
Exactly.
I was going to say the same thing. Not to mention,
Exactly.
Rez, they came in with bloat, didn't they? They're already thinking about next season.
Yeah, well, they're only playing with one War Dancer. They're worried about their transfer for next season. They're farming SPP with their War Dancers. I mean, I can't even win a game. I can't even get to a bowl game, and he's farming SPP in the championship.
That's crazy.
And now
Talk about making
dodging
it
around
easy.
Dodging around an orc, just doing circles around him, just to show him off that he can do it.
He did. Yeah. It's crazy. They're surrounding him right now, and they're actually making fun of him.
And actually, it was good strategy by Coach Stu prior to the game, asking everybody, and there goes the
and
tree.
see, I'm surprised that we saw the block there. He had 2 black orcs tied up, and I know that Coach Stu subscribes to the "my tree doesn't block" most of the time. I think this is basically just the proverbial rounding the bases for the White Owls at this point. They're rounding the thrower. They're pretty much celebrating at this point, just seeing what'll work for him and what won't.
But maybe Takru wants to take a final hit at that War Dancer in front of him. I think Coach Caven, very frustrated with Takru's performance, is shouting at him now. It's like, do something.
He's not going to get the blitz.
No, he's not. He even fails trying to do a blitz.
Yeah, I
He just
can't,
gets up and that's it.
So let's see, and what's surprising is you see...
Roy wants to know if you find this sexy.
Oh, the iPad Knight? Absolutely. I mean, I don't know. You got to be a seriously twisted individual not to. Oh, Gut Rat's gonna try to come up.
There's a word for that. There's a word for that, Rez. It's called furry. You have to be somewhat twisted to find iPad Knight sexy. That's all I'm saying. It's disgusting.
All I'm saying is the man who hates iPad predicted that the Thanmice wasn't going to make it through the game. Who's still laying on the pitch, Joe Fro? Him and his AV6 glory. He's still laying there.
Out of any team, this is not the one you want to run into.
I just realized he's got a niggle too.
By the way, the White Owls were the ones that took the Titans out in the first round as well, right?
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
That was Stu's only win against the Titans, actually.
Yeah, so I mean, really, this team handily just defeating Orcs and running in, farming against them, and I guess they've got their anti-Orc game down now, huh?
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, because coming into this game, the White Owls' record against Orcs was actually not great. Prior to the season, it was a negative record. It was the only race they had a negative record against. And now, this win against the Titans, against Coach Thunden, turned their entire team legacy around, actually. Now they're the Orc beaters, and you see that. Executed very well here.
The Orc beaters, I like that.
And so we see the White Owls here still with the reroll. A lot of pain coming their way if they don't get these couple players out of the way.
Exactly. You see that's what Skaven's gonna do now. He's winding them up in a circle, especially the blotch tackle piece there and a War Dancer, and he wants to do some damage. That's, I think, all he cares about now.
I think he wants that final score. He is set up for it. I'm not sure if Stu will let him have that satisfaction, but he hasn't ran anybody back there to guard that receiver. So I think Stu's probably thinking about survival at this point.
But it's Roch. You know how good Roch is at catching the ball? have you looked at him lately?
Not so good.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, and Nuffle says no again. Rotnail's going to take a powder. And that ball's going to come loose. Jeez. I guess the touchdown's going to...
Just a mass of bodies laying all over the sidelines there. iPets are starting to swarm onto the field slowly. The Goblin ref is trying to chase them off, but he's slowly being overrun.
He's back there with a broom. He's trying to sweep them off the field, literally, and every time he sweeps one little corner of them away, they try to pour in from the other side of the end zone. So I don't know how much longer he can hold them off, but he won't have to, because we're about to see a noble attempt for a final pass coming up from the Wrecking Crew soon here, I predict.
There goes Dilgaleel, and the Orcs have finally woken up, maybe, but unfortunately it's a little too much, a little too late, yeah.
And I'm wondering if Harry's going to get a dead War Dancer for his viewing pleasure when he tunes in.
Well, and that would be just poetic justice at this point for the White Owls. Oh, but instead it's going to be Amalot.
He will miss the first game of the new season.
We might see the Apothecary here.
We actually might. I think so too.
He's debating. A lot can happen in the end of the turn.
There's still the blitz on the War Dancer.
No, this was the blitz.
No, that was the blitz. So it's a smart.
And the doctor apparently wasn't very interested. Said, "No, that's fine. You don't need to play in the season opener. It's a ring ceremony anyway."
I think the Apothecary was distracted by these filthy creatures.
Well, yeah, that's probably a more likely scenario. There is the Apothecary just couldn't quite get to him. He's just the entire, all the players are crammed up onto the right side of the field here. The entire left side is now infested with iPads.
Completely. The ref has pretty much given up at trying to cover that left wide zone.
Oh.
And no touchdown pass for the Wrecking Crew.
Not even Gutrat can manage to get the crew a score in this game.
Our Season 4 MML or Season 3 MML champion team is going to go get shut out in the Season 5 final. And an unexpected score. I don't think anybody expected the Wrecking Crew to get shut out. 2-0, big win for the White Owls. Let's take a look at some of these stats and see if there's anything special.
White Tree with the MVP, and he's going to get himself a level up.
Exactly. So that's 3 major level ups on the White Owls. So it's not only been the title, it's also been a great game for them. No major losses, except the thrower being out for the first game.
And they'll get their War Dancer transfer, I'm sure, now.
Yeah.
What do you think, Rez? If White Tree gets doubles, is he taking jump up or block?
No, he's already got movement 3, so there's no reason for jump up.
Yeah, exactly.
So block it is, or pro?
Absolutely. Well, and pro would be a good... Yeah, pro would be nice for the take root roll, but
Right.
block would be nice just to help keep him standing, taking up zones.
Right. So I'm looking at the stats. There's nothing crazy here. Thankfully, no interceptions. So that doesn't clog up that stat category. 4 injuries inflicted won't do it. I think the record is 5 right now. So yeah, pretty ordinary stats-wise for this match, but definitely anything from an ordinary match. Should we bring on our winner?
Oh, that's a great idea.
Stu, you in the chat?
Sure am.
How you feeling, man? New MML champion! The Stu,
And the first Wood Elf
176,
champion.
coach of the White Owls. How does it feel?
It feels awesome.
For those of you that can't see him, he's standing here getting champagne poured on him, NASCAR style, by a gang of iPads and lingerie models. A weird combination, but if Nirvana exists, this is it. So,
Stu, what did you think about Takroo's just complete ineffectiveness?
Look, I said it, and I'll say it again. All the games that I play versus orcs, they either win or lose for me or them in the first 4 turns. If they don't get my players down, it's going to be really hard for them. And if they get the injuries in, they got the victory. It pretty much sums up what happened versus the Titans in first round and what happened versus Caven in this one. Obviously, the dice were on my side. I mean, 4 both downs with a non-block piece is it gave me a score, pretty much. So no, it's always the same versus Wood Elves. If you make one mistake, I pick up the ball and I run for it. It's pretty much the same as Caven.
you said pretty much the same as Skaven? So like the
As Skaven, the rat teams.
Skaven, okay. I was gonna say it.
No, Caven, he picks up the ball and he walks slowly all the way down to the touchdown zone. But it works.
So what if anything did you see in the game against your Wood Elf brethren last week in the semifinal against the Leaf Dancers that you were able to use to your advantage this time?
Well, I did not throw my players at the ball right away, which makes a big difference. I had a wizard, which he didn't, and actually Caven had a wizard on the game versus the Leaf Dancers, so that makes a big difference in the gameplay of both coaches. And he got both of his War Dancers and his incredible linemen that got injured in the first half, so if that happened to me, I had no chance either.
Excellent, excellent. Anybody else got any questions for our new champion?
No, I just want to say that I'm just looking at the chat here, and there's lots of players congratulating both coaches, and this Stu Preach says nicely done, Stu, brilliant run, congratulations. It's great, yeah. It was amazing. I want to know. The only question I would ask Stu is about White Tree. How he's now the MVP for the match, and also, do you think he was doing well? Because Lou said earlier that he was. Part of your plan was to tie up orcs with him, and I think he did a pretty good job of doing that, didn't he?
White Tree always had 1 to 2 Black Orcs as buddies, so he did a great job. He got rooted, which I must admit was the first time in my whole playoff run that he rooted, so he's just an awesome player overall.
Yeah. It is, yeah. I'm just consider myself very lucky to have been able to watch this and actually be able to ask you these questions directly, so I don't know if anyone in the chat wants to ask any questions.
And by the way, I want to take this time while we're waiting for chat questions to bring up, man, really big thanks to our European announcers. For you guys, I know it's really, really late out there. It's a work night, and you guys have taken the time to come out here and weigh in on this very important match. So really, really appreciate it from both of you.
I took the day off work tomorrow.
Same here. Same here.
Wow, that's dedication.
That is 5 a.m.
Dedication. Imagine explaining that one to your job. It's like, hey, I can't come in tomorrow. MML Championship tonight. I'm gonna be tailgating. The whole thing. Gonna be really drunk. You don't get it. iPads all over the place. Can't come into work.
And those iPads, I think they made the difference. They should have had the MVP.
Absolutely.
No, I mean, the iPads made the whole difference.
No. Every night should be bring your iPad to the stadium night.
Everywhere. Now we need an iPad on a tree, man.
So actually,
that's your cue.
Do we have? Yeah, iPad should be able to be thrown, right? Do we have Coach Caven in the chat? Did he jump back in? Unfortunately, it looks like we may have.
I'm here.
Oh, there he is.
No, I'm here.
Coach Caven, did the so it was a tough, unexpected game for the Wrecking Crew. Bring your iPad to the stadium night. Engineered by the White Owls as a distraction, and you it looked like you embraced it. Did it turn out being a distraction?
No, not at all. I think the biggest distraction was my guys couldn't get any elves down.
Especially Takru, right?
Really, yeah.
Like, I think you attempted 7 blitzes with him, and
Hey, guys.
only 2 of them knocked them down.
I'm trying to confirm the match, and I'm getting an error message. I don't know if you confirmed, Caven, on your side?
I have not. I haven't closed it out yet.
It tells me operation cannot be completed, invalid status. I have no clue what that means.
Don't worry. We could probably do it from the admin side, so don't worry about that.
Okay, that's fine. Good. By the way, good game. Well played.
Hey, yeah, good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go back to, I guess it was the first round playoff, Takru wasn't getting much done either.
We have Preach in the chat saying the match has been confirmed. Just so you know.
Good. Maybe he confirmed it as an admin right away.
Yep.
And you 2 guys don't have to.
Tiger Shark calling for a rematch, but no. Brilliant game, guys. Brilliant game, guys. But yeah, but Preach is saying match confirmed. Yeah.
Board decision necessary.
I thought Tiger Shark was the owner of the MMM, basically, so his word counts, right?
He actually, I think Tiger Shark owns 95% of intellectual property in the MML, and Preach is the chief administrator, and he gets Tiger Shark coffee every morning. That's what Tiger Shark told me.
Bernie Buffett. Hey, Bernie Buffett's come up with a good suggestion, which I'm in favour of. Best out of 3. I'm in favour of that. I could do this again and again. I don't know
if a Wood Elf team would survive 3 games with the Wrecking Crew. By the 3rd game, it would just be 11 loners running around.
By the way,
the dice were like tonight. Yes, they could.
By the way,
unless Takru gets his stuff together.
Just to sweeten the pot, the biological father of the MML, as he's known, has declared that iPad night officially turns into $1 taco night. But remember, guys, do not feed the iPads after midnight.
I like Tiger Shark better than this Preach character. I mean, Tiger Shark seems to really have the best interest in mind of everybody's enjoyment.
But Tiger Shark is like that cool uncle that lets you stay up past your bedtime and read the porno magazines.
Yeah. Bernie's calling for Yeah, come on, it's only 4 a.m. We've got plenty of time. I totally agree. It is 4. It must be five with you, Lou. But yeah, I could do this again and again and again. It was so much fun.
Really well played by both coaches. And like I said, it sucks when Takru not getting the blitzes affected the whole game. But I mean, it really the quadruple boat downs for the Black Orc was the turning point that really sealed it. It sucks when it comes down to something like that, but when you've got two great coaches who are doing just ridiculous positioning and annoying each other to no end, that something has to give.
Oh, I have another question for Kevin, because there was, I think the only mistake, if you want to call it like that, was a misclick there. Did you miss the elf lineman behind the tree?
Yeah, I didn't see him behind the tree. I couldn't see.
It was the massive iPads hanging off the branches, wasn't it? It blocked the elf.
Yeah, I just never saw him. All the movement in the tree, we were looking elsewhere, and Takru was off his game all night anyway. I think he picked one out that he wanted, and he was just more focused on that.
No, sack him. He shouldn't want them. He should want to kill them.
Takru is already worried about after the game. Oh. That got violent quickly.
Yeah, it's iPets are now in the same category as high elves. and coaches board members.
Well, I hope that Takru repeats his performance throughout next season. I'm looking forward to that. I remember killing my players. I remember killing my players. I like this newer, softer, gentler Takru that I'm starting to see.
Well, you know where it all started was the Pirates game. He got knocked out in that game.
And he hasn't been right since.
He had an opportunity to come back in the second half, and I made a mistake and put a lineman in and left him on the sideline. We ended up losing that game 2-1, and I think he's held that against me for the rest of the playoff.
Oh, that's what you get for benching me. I'll sabotage your whole playoff run. I give you a lot of credit for making the finals for a second time with your star blitzer just being completely stubborn.
Well, that's the difference between winning and losing. You have to play as a team, and if you've got one guy that just wants to be the team, you're not going to win.
You might be alluding to your orc brethren there and their star diva player, Gorebag, huh?
Never heard of him.
Who?
Yeah, we choose not to ignore or not to acknowledge any other orcs that don't follow the great orc god Grumsh.
Maybe not paying enough to Nuffle, that was the answer. I started this match wanting to support the White Owls, but I was kind of cheering for the wrecking crew at the end because of all these filthy iPads, that's all I'm saying.
I like that, I won't give this, I mean, it's... I was gonna say I definitely respect Caven as a coach, and I like the guy, but I will say I was kind of pulling for the White Owls just for the simple fact that distributing the championships. I don't want to see too many of those.
Too dominant. We need to do more to sabotage him.
Yeah. Well, you can
stop winning the Iron League.
Seston can attest to this. He sent me a message, and I told him, I was like, half of me would be thrilled to be the first one to win a second one, but half of me wanted Stu to win it because I like spreading it around. I don't like one guy winning everything, so I was torn, but I was okay with the result.
Just dominating.
You can still put another feather in your cap, and the crew is still dominant.
You said that to Seston? You don't like a guy winning everything?
It does just speak to the caliber of Caven, I know.
That's the two most unlikely guys to be having that conversation, right? Yeah, I hate guys that win Blood Bowl all the time. Totally.
Okay, well, here's the thing. We're the two with the gold names, and we wanted somebody else in there. It's getting kind of boring, just us two talking to each other.
Do you get the gold jacket? I don't know how. I've never had the experience. So how does this happen? Is there like a ceremony and you get a gold jacket, when you win the title?
Yeah, it's private. You can only find out once you make the club.
Oh, man, give us something,
You
a
talking
little
about a good old boy club. You were talking about a good old boy club.
Yeah.
Secret handshakes, secret passwords, and secret knocks and everything. Totally.
And somebody said something about witch elves.
Oh, is there a special washroom you get to use only when you have a gold jacket?
It's one at Screech's house.
Because wood elves are here. They don't use washrooms.
Yeah.
You just leave it where it lies, and you
Is
just
there
gotta
a-
deal with it, man.
I was gonna say, is there a special hole in the ground then, but
civilized.
leave it where it lies. It's explicit. Yikes.
I use the washroom. I just don't use the shower.
We use the restroom, not the bathroom.
Exactly.
Tiger Shark says that the induction ceremony for the gold jacket is like an eyes wide shut party. And now here come the wood elves to mess it up with the stank.
Sounds like jealousy to me.
Well, guys, this has been amazing. I really want to thank everybody for staying up late to announce, and also for staying up late to watch, and all the wonderful comments in the chat, or the productive ones anyway. And thanks everybody for tuning in. This has been an MML production. If you like what you see, MMLpro.com. Check it out. MMLpro.com. These teams have backstories. Well, the Wrecking Crew has put a backstory out. Now I'm going to put White Owls on the spotlight. Even Disco Devo wrote a story after he won a championship. So you may have to put your get your computer ready and get that Microsoft Word open and write us a story. Yeah, quiet. He's like, I ain't writing. But anything else? Any parting comments from either the coaches or the announcers?
That's so season 6 starts on Monday, right?
Well,
That's
the
gonna
Wrecking
be
Crew
great.
are adopting the call of the Cleveland Browns. Wait till next year.
I don't think you need to stoop that low, Caven. The Crew are still an esteemed franchise. I mean, you can climb higher than that. Come on.
So potentially season starts on Monday. We're hint preach. I doubt he's willing to commit to that right
Hint,
now.
hint, nudge, nudge.
In the
Great.
chat.
He only said his great
Everybody
job. Good
accept
night,
their
all. Good night.
The first
Oh,
thing
yeah.
the preach will say in response: everyone accept
Oh,
their
yeah.
tickets.
Absolutely. Except tickets have gone out. If you have a team registered for season 6, make sure you accept that ticket. You'll hold the rest of us off. Lou signed off already. It's 5 a.m. over there. It's dedication. Thank you, Jofro, for hanging in there. I know you were already tired. I heard that the orcs
Makes doing
hooked you
catch
up
up.
with some of that orcane to keep you going. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun over here.
The good stuff.
Woo! Where are we partying after this? Woo! and this has
Anywhere
been
where there's no iPads.
iPads get the party started, Jofro. Just have some more arcane. You'll see what I'm talking about.
iPad was the real MVP tonight.
All right, everybody. This has been another production of the MML. Check out MMLpro.com. Thanks for watching. This is Serious Jest. Your announcers have been ReznorRules, you, Serious Jest, Louliz, rather, and Josiah Frost. Your coaches were the Stu176 and Caven08. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will see you in Season 6.